Hey, what's up guys? BriarRabbit here, and today I want to talk a little bit about the PlayStation 4. So, a lot of people have heard that Sony's got this big announcement on February 20th, which is only a week away now, and most people are speculating that they're going to announce the PlayStation 4. They're going to kind of do this reveal of what it looks like, you know, what the specs are. Hopefully they'll show some games for it, because I think that's really the biggest question anybody has at this point. For you, those of you who don't know, for the most part, it's generally accepted knowledge that we know the specs of the PlayStation 4. It's going to have either 4 or 8 gigabytes of RAM. 8 gigabytes seems to be the number that everybody's kind of predicting. It's going to have a really fast processor, graphics processor. It's going to be very similar to the Xbox 720 and very similar to a PC. So it should be much easier for developers to port games over. But what I'm really wondering about is what is going to happen on this February 20th announcement. They might just get ahead of kind of the rumors and speculation and just say, okay, so here's what the box is going to look like. Here are the specs. But what I'm really wondering is, you know, are they going to announce new games? Are they going to watch this? This is really bizarre. I'm sorry. I'm going to take a break. These two guys are face to face in the grass, laying down. Isn't that bizarre? Like, what are those two guys doing? I don't know. Hey, this is a no judgment zone, but like, I don't know. Can you do that in a Call of Duty game? It's just bizarre. I think this is one of the dudes who comes for a revenge kill. You killed my lover. What are you doing? I don't know. Anyway, back to the PlayStation 4. Sorry. So, what's going to be announced at this? I don't really know, right? We're definitely going to get a Blu-ray player. I believe that Sony's going to probably try and position this thing as more of a, you know, home entertainment console, not just a video game console, but much more of like a movie rental box. You know, it's going to have Blu-ray again, but I don't know that Sony's got the juju at this point to really make a good run at this. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but for the last year or so, Sony's been struggling to get, I don't know that they're running out of money, right? Their financial reports aren't good, but when you look at the games they've been releasing, like, for instance, Sly Cooper, the new Sly Cooper game just came out. And a lot of people didn't even know it just came out because I didn't see hide nor tail of this thing in any commercials. I didn't see any of those little teaser ads on YouTube. I had no idea this thing was coming out. And when I started reading about it, it was getting really good reviews. So what is going on here, Sony? Why didn't you talk about this? I suspect that Sony might be having some financial difficulties. Maybe the Kevin Butler way of advertising wasn't really getting the job done. I don't know, but I'm really concerned for Sony. I think they need to really nail it right out of the gates here, because you'll see that the PS Vita is not doing good. The games suck for it. I mean, I don't know if you guys have played the Black Ops game for the PS Vita, but by all accounts, it's awful. Like, it's truly a terrible game. And that made me sad, because that was basically the only game that appealed to me on the PS Vita at all. So to hear that that game was terrible, I don't know. I don't know that mobile is really going to take off in a handheld form. Even the 3DX is having a hard time. I don't know. So anyway, what is going to happen at this February 20th announcement? I suspect that they're going to show just the specs of the machine, what it's going to look like, kind of just a teaser, and then wait till E3 to kind of start showing off software. But I think that's a bad move. I think Sony needs to get this thing out. I think they need to get us as gamers really excited about this thing. And I don't know how they're going to do it, because this PlayStation 3 really bit a lot of people in the butt. You know, Call of Duty gamers especially, most third-party games were this generation were developed for the Xbox 720 first. And then they got ported to the PlayStation 3. So even though the PlayStation 3 theoretically had more power and was a better piece of hardware, mostly the games didn't look as good, or they didn't play as good. And that really sucks, because it cost a hell of a lot more. When that thing first came out, it was like $600. And that was a lot of money. That's still a lot of money. I don't think they're going to make that mistake again, I'll tell you that. I remember the CEO, when they first announced the PlayStation 3, he came out on stage and said, you know, this is an aspirational device. Like, what are you talking about, aspirational device? It's a video game console. You need people to be able to afford to buy it, especially kids, you know? Like, kids don't have $600 to be buying these things with. Even $400 is a stretch. You know, they're still selling the, I actually was just at GameStop today, and I saw that they're still selling the PlayStation 3 for $300 new. Like, that is insane. That thing is like 6 or 7 years old. That thing should be like $100, maybe $200 if you include a bunch of bundled software with it. But $300, that's steep. That thing is not easy to build. I can guarantee you that. So, but I think they're gonna fix that mistake this time around. The thing seems to be kind of more normal PC architecture. It's not gonna have this like weird cell processor. It should be easier to develop for. And hopefully that'll mean that they get better third-party software. So instead of buying a Call of Duty based on, you know, what it looks best on, you can just buy it for the console that your friends are on. So maybe you got a couple of friends that are playing PlayStation 4, and you got a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox 720. You know, I'd like that decision to be, well, who do I want to play this game with? You know, I want to play it with my friends who are on the Xbox 720, then I'll buy it for Xbox 720. I got friends who want to play on the PlayStation 4. I'll buy it for the PlayStation 4. You know, I actually bought both versions of the original Black Ops because that's exactly what happened to me. I had some friends who wanted to play on PlayStation 3. I had some friends who wanted to play on Xbox. So I bought both versions. I ended up spending $120 on that game. And I got to tell you, the PlayStation version was far less good. What's the difference? I don't even know the word for that. Not as good. The Xbox version was far superior. It just felt better. I don't know what it was about that. The netcode seemed better too. The PlayStation version seemed laggy. And there's no reason for that. That's a very powerful machine. I'm sorry, this might be feeling a little ranty, and I don't mean it to. I like my Sony PlayStation 3. It's just that I don't play it nearly. Well, that's partly because it's been broken. I actually had to use the blow dryer trick about 3 months ago just to get a disc out of it. So it is broken, and I haven't really felt the need to replace it, especially at $300 for a 6-year-old console. And there's a new console like imminent, so why replace it? So that's not why I don't play it though. I don't play it because the games aren't there. The multiplayer games I tend to play on Xbox because that's where my friends list is. You know, I love games like Uncharted. I love games like Sly Cooper. But those are single-player games. You know, the community isn't really around those games. You know, mostly I play Call of Duty. That's really my passion for video games. I love playing shooters. I used to love playing Halo. Now I love playing Call of Duty. So hopefully now that the PlayStation 4 is getting announced, we will see a Call of Duty that is really spectacular on that new system. That's what I'm really hoping for. That's what I want out of the PlayStation 4. Is I really want to see them come up to par with the Xbox as far as Call of Duty is concerned. So just in case you might have missed them, a couple of videos up on the screen. On the left-hand side is my gaming setup video. On the right-hand side is a kind of a fun video, channel update, just some news about me. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.